My wedding day. The day every girl dreams of, right? White dress, flowers, promises whispered under a canopy of blessings. I remember the sunlight catching in Jihoon's eyes as he said, I do. I truly believed that was the beginning of my forever. A forever filled with laughter, whispered secrets, and the comfort of knowing I had found my home, my partner, my life. Foolish, wasn't I? So utterly, blindingly foolish. The reception was a blur of well-wishers and forced smiles. I felt a little detached, even then. Jihoon's mother, my husband's mother, hovered around him like a protective shadow. She smiled at me, of course, a wide, bright smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. But I brushed it off. Wedding day jitters, perhaps. Everyone said mothers-in-law could be challenging. I was determined to make it work. For Jihoon. For us. Then came the wedding night. We arrived at our new apartment, hand in hand, exhausted but buzzing with anticipation. I unlocked the door, ready to finally breathe, to finally be alone with my husband. But the living room light was on. And sitting there on our sofa, amidst our wedding gifts, was her. My husband's mother. Oh, you're finally here, she chirped, as if she were expecting us. As if this was normal. She stood up, smoothing down her dress, her smile unwavering. I thought I'd come over early and settle in, just to help you two get started. Isn't that thoughtful? My blood ran cold. Jihoon just chuckled nervously, putting an arm around my shoulder. Honey, don't be silly. Mom's just being mom. She's going to stay with us for a little while. To, help us adjust. Help us adjust? Adjust to what? To sharing our honeymoon with his mother? My heart hammered against my ribs. This wasn't right. This was terribly, terribly wrong. And in that moment, surrounded by wedding balloons and the chilling smile of my husband's mother, I knew. My dream had just become a nightmare. A little while turned into weeks. Weeks bled into months. She was always there. Every morning, her footsteps echoed in the hallway before mine. Breakfast was always prepared exactly as she liked it, not as Jihoon or I preferred. The kitchen, once my sanctuary, became her domain. She'd rearrange my spices, criticize my cooking. Oh, dear, are you sure you're using enough soy sauce? Jihoon likes it salter. Even my clothes weren't safe. That color washes you out, dear. Don't you think something more demure would be better? Demure. In my own home, I was being told to be demure. Finances? Forget about it. She helped manage our household budget, which meant she controlled it. Every grocery bill scrutinized, every purchase questioned. Are you sure you need another lipstick, dear? Isn't the one you have enough? My voice, my choices, were slowly being erased. Like a watercolor painting left out in the rain, the colors were bleeding, fading, disappearing. And Jihoon? He just watched. He'd pat my hand dismissively when I tried to talk to him. Honey, don't be so sensitive. Mom just cares. She's just trying to help. Help? Or control? Intimacy became a distant memory. How could it not? She was always there. Even when she wasn't physically present, her presence loomed, heavy and suffocating. The walls felt thinner, the air thicker. I felt like I was constantly being watched. I'd catch her glancing at me from the corner of her eye, a strange, knowing look that made my skin crawl. I started closing the bedroom door more firmly, drawing the curtains tighter. But even then, I couldn't shake the feeling of being observed. One evening, I was looking for a spare charger behind the TV console. Dust bunnies, tangled wires, and something else. Small, round, black. Mounted discreetly on the back of the console, facing the living room. Another one on the bookshelf, aimed at the dining area. And another, smaller one, almost hidden amongst the plants on the windowsill, watching the kitchen. My breath hitched. CCTV cameras. In my home. Hidden. My hands trembled as I touched them. Cold. Unblinking eyes staring out at me? At us? But why? Who were they watching? And for what purpose? Fear coiled in my stomach, cold and constricting. I confronted Jihoon. I showed him the cameras, my voice shaking, tears welling in my eyes. Jihoon, what is this? Why are there cameras? In our home? He sighed, rubbing his temples. Oh, those. Mom installed them. He said it so casually, like it was the most normal thing in the world. She said it was for security. You know, with all the news these days, she's just worried about us. Worried? Or controlling? But, Jihoon, she didn't tell me. She didn't ask. This is our home. This is an invasion of privacy. My voice rose, desperate for him to understand. He took my hands, his eyes pleading. Honey, please, don't make a fuss. It'll just upset Mom. She means well. Just ignore them. It's not a big deal. Not a big deal. My privacy violated. My home turned into a surveillance zone, and he says it's not a big deal. In that moment, looking into his eyes, I saw it. Not love, not understanding, just placation. He was choosing her. Always her. A cold dread seeped into my bones. This wasn't just about cameras. This was about something far more sinister. Something planned. Something deliberate. Was this her plan all along? To trap me? To control me? And was Jihoon in on it? Driven by a desperate need to understand, to find some answers, I waited until they were both asleep. Heart pounding, I crept into the living room. The cameras, they had to be recording somewhere. Following the wires, I found a small DVR hidden behind a stack of books. And then a memory card slot. With trembling fingers, I took out the card and rushed to my laptop. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped it. But I managed to insert it. And then I saw it. Footage. Days, weeks, months of footage. Of me, moving around my own home. Cooking, cleaning, talking on the phone, even sleeping. My skin crawled. I fast-forwarded, desperate to find something, anything. And then I saw it. A conversation. Between Jihoon and his mother. Days before the wedding. In this apartment. Empty then, waiting for us. But they were already here. Planning. Are you sure about her, Jihoon? She seems independent. Will she be manageable? Mom, stop worrying. She loves me. She'll do anything for me. And besides, you'll be here to guide her, right? Just like we planned. Of course, my son. Everything is arranged. The apartment is in my name, remember? And the cameras, those are essential. We need to know everything. Control everything. Yes, Mom. I understand. For the family business, right? And for my future. My blood ran cold. Manageable? Just like we planned. It wasn't love. It was a transaction. A business deal. I wasn't his wife. I was a puppet. Chosen, vetted, and then delivered into their web of control. The cameras weren't for security. They were for surveillance. To keep me in line. To make sure I played my role. And Jihoon, my Jihoon, he was just a pawn in his mother's game. A wave of nausea, of rage, of utter devastation washed over me. I stood up, knocking over a vase in my fury, the sound echoing through the silent apartment. They rushed out, startled, eyes wide with alarm. What was that? His mother's voice sharp and accusing. I held up the memory card, my voice trembling but rising in anger. I know everything. The cameras, the plan, this whole charade. I threw the card at Jihoon's feet. You lied to me. You used me. Was any of it real? Was there ever any love? His mother stepped forward, her face hardening. How dare you speak to my son like that? Everything I do is for him. For our family. Jihoon just stood there, pale and silent, avoiding my gaze. Jihoon, tell me, was it real? My voice cracked, tears streaming down my face. He finally looked at me, his eyes filled not with love, but with fear. Fear of his mother. Mom, please, he stammered, reaching for his mother's hand. And in that moment it shattered. Completely, irrevocably shattered. My heart, my dreams, my marriage. I wasn't his partner. I was an outsider. Trapped in a gilded cage, watched, manipulated, and utterly alone. His loyalty, his love, his very being belonged to his mother. And I was nothing. Enough. I'd had enough. I wouldn't be a puppet anymore. I wouldn't be watched, controlled, erased. Turning away from their stunned faces, I ran to the bedroom, throwing clothes into a suitcase, tears blurring my vision. My hands trembled, but my resolve was steel. I was leaving. I was escaping. I would find my own life, my own voice again. Even if it meant leaving everything behind. Even if it meant starting over. His mother followed me, her voice dripping with false concern. Dear, where are you going? Don't be rash. We can talk about this. Family is important. Marriage is for life. Don't you understand? I'm just trying to protect you all. For your own good. My own good. I spat, turning to face her, suitcase in hand. You've turned my life into a prison. You've stolen my happiness. And for what? Control? Power? Over your son? Over me? Jihoon finally spoke, his voice low and defeated. It's not just mom. Honey, it's the family business. He stepped closer, his eyes pleading. We needed a wife. Someone suitable. Someone who would benefit the company image. My blood ran cold again. Benefit the company image? I repeated, numbly. He nodded, shamefaced. Your family, your background, it was all calculated. Mom found you. She thought you were perfect. I stared at them, at the two of them, finally seeing the truth in its full, horrifying clarity. It was all a lie. The wedding, the promises, the smiles, the love. All manufactured, all calculated, all for business. And I was just a product. A carefully chosen, meticulously managed product. A hollow laugh escaped my lips, a sound devoid of humor, filled only with a chilling despair. I walked out, suitcase in hand, leaving them standing there in the apartment that was never really mine. But as I stepped out into the night, I couldn't shake the feeling that the cameras were still watching, that even outside those walls, I was still trapped, that even in my escape, I might never truly be free. Because their control, it was more than just cameras. It was in their blood. And perhaps it was now in mine too.